Hello, long time no see. I haven't made anything in a while. Basically since the, what's it called, the strength stacking character. Which was actually a first PoE video I did. This is the first PoE2 one, and it's about the new unique boots in 0.3 called Shankgonne. Which Mark teased in, I think, the interview with DM a few weeks ago. A few days before release of the league. He said something about a unique that puts a cannon on your leg and allows you to rocket jump. Which, I mean, sounded great to me. I decided to go with a Tactician regardless, if this was in, and I picked the name CannonLeg because, you know, dedication. But the fun thing is it's actually viable.
Not yet.
With some cooldown reduction, you can get the cooldown down to 1.6 seconds in my case, which makes it usable. The base cooldown is 3.6 seconds, I've got it down to 1.6 without too much investment really. The entire character is, I guess, like 300 exalts of investment. I league started with it and it's been a pleasure really. How I got it to work, or at least the idea of what I had was to invest into cooldown recovery rate, so I could get the cooldown, the base cooldown of 3.6 seconds in the case of the level 19 boots down as much as possible. So I'm getting 20% here, I'm getting, is it 25% here, and I'm getting 15% from Heart of the Well. This was a 15x duel, which is just, I don't know, quality of life. It's not, definitely not min-maxed, but it does what it needs to do. It gives me some nice stats. I just mostly got it for the cooldown recovery rate. So 15, 25 is 40, 15 is 55. Do I have anything else? Cooldown recovery rate here. I got 10% on authority, which you want for the area of effect anyway. And I think that's it on the tree. And the fun thing is you're not just getting it for the jump, you're also getting it for your grenades. Because I'm like pretty sure cooldown recovery works for grenades as well. Because why wouldn't it, right? It's got cooldown time on it. So what was that? Like 65, 70% cooldown recovery. We've got 30% here. And that basically halves your cooldown time from 3.6 to 1.8. And then I got 5% from the interlude. In interlude 2, in Kima, you have Halani's Pillars, which lets you choose from a bunch of permanent bonuses, and one of them is 12% increased cooldown recovery rate. So we're already a bit above 100% reduced, which nets us this nice 1.6. And it starts cooling down while you're already in the air. It's immediate, so it doesn't need to wait until you land. It starts recharging immediately. And you can hold spacebar while it's cooling down, so you can jump immediately. That's the basics of Shankgonne, right? Well, at least the skill it gives you. Which also detonates grenades. Meaning, if you're like surrounded, you can shoot out clusters or flash grenades, or in my case, just explosives. Jump out of a situation and, you know, hurt whatever's there. And it also works for your mortars. If there's an enemy they're shooting at, you can put down oil grenades. Fire that, jump. These will have fired a few salvos. Normally 4 per mortar cannon because it's the same value. Which, together with explosive shot, which also detonates grenades, it basically means that grenade detonation time is meaningless. So you don't need this wheel. This doesn't really matter either. That's 50% to your grenade detonation time. You want this anyway for the additional projectile, but it doesn't really matter. You can detonate grenades with jumping or with your explosive shot. So we can just go fully into cooldown reduction, various kinds of damage. I have this wheel for extra attack damage while you have an ally in your presence, which this does count as you can see. When I walk out, when I put it down, you see the damages go up. So, not gonna make this too long, I'm just gonna do a T15 map and show you how it plays. It's basically like most other explosive grenades, Tacticians. With a nice extra mechanic. You're losing what, maximum of 35% move speed because you don't have any on the boots. But it's fine, really. I'm probably outrunning some people without these boots. Okay. P16? Oh, okay. Let's see. I want to do a boss map, of course. Okay, so let's do a Corrupted Bloodwood. Somehow it doesn't have a modifier on it. Oh, whatever. So we're just gonna see in practice how Shankgonne, the new unique boots, works. As you can tell, it's not a dead eye, but it's very comfortable. It's a random, I just hit a random T16 map, right? I added 4 modifiers, I corrupted it, I jumped into a Corrupted Bloodwood. So it doesn't really care too much about map modifiers. As far as I'm concerned, you know, a minus maximum resistances will always be shit, but for mapping it's fine. And sometimes you're, especially if there's corrupted monsters, you have to go back and forth a bit to kill them all because they keep respawning and whatever. The grenade coverage isn't amazing if you're not running cluster grenades. Explosive is a bit smaller AoE, but it does everything I want from it, especially as a League starter and especially because it's quite cheap. Like defensively, this build is more than I could ask for. The armor buffs really have been very noticeable. Especially armor applying to elemental damage, which I have a little bit over 100%, meaning, you know, lots of reduction, which is coming mostly from my chest and helmet. Now, there's most of the, you know, the endgame, what do you call it, late stage players are using Constricting Command as a helmet, which makes you, with the right modifier, permanently surrounded. And I did purchase it, but I kind of just prefer being tankier. Having all the defensive options on my helmet, the armor, And really all I sacrificed was like 15% damage, 20% damage. Now, we've got an Abyss here. Abyss has Chaos, which is at the moment the only really big weakness I have, as you can see by my health bar. But I do deal with it pretty well. Okay. Huh? I haven't gotten that one yet. I'll check that later. I'll also add that having both explosive shot and Shankgonne boots as ways to detonate your grenades allows you both close quarter style of combat and a more defensive long distance kind of combat. Which is nice for being able to do multiple types of maps. You could do both, like, you know, close quarters maps like trenches or crypt, as well as more open maps like Savannah or what's it called, the beach map. Okay, boss time. This is the worm. This is where I put down some banners, oil grenade, spam my own grenades, put down 2 mortars, and just blow it up eventually. So, to summarize, this was my league starter, which I played until maps completely solo self-found. I just picked up whatever I could find, but pretty much all the items I have now were purchased via trade. I did get a Lucky Divine in Act 3, which I converted to, I think at the time, 120 Exiles, which allowed me to buy some of this gear. I bought the boots for, I don't know, barely anything, a few Exiles. The only real big purchase in this build here is the crossbow, which miraculously only cost me 20x on day 3 or 4. Because it didn't have any runes socketed in, and it didn't have any quality. So it joined the list of bows I searched for 550 physical DPS, with +3 level to all projectile skills. So like a mid-game kind of crossbow, right? But it was the only one in the list that didn't have runes in. So I managed to get it way above what I was looking for because of that, for 20 Exiles, which is kind of a lucky buy. But in general, all the gear here should be, you know, if you have 200 Exiles, you can get all this gear. You should be able to. Maybe a ring or an amulet would need to change a little bit. But in general, it's very, very achievable. And it's a fun league starter. I went through the axe with the cold shotgun skill, what's it called? Permafrost bolts. And fracturing. Wait, I'll look it up so I don't fucking stumble about. Also, it's very easy to hop around between your wait. Where is it? I started out with permafrost and fragmentation, together with flash grenade for some light crowd control, and I basically went through the entire campaign with that, together with Herald of Ice. Right now, I am running Black Powder Blitz to skill on your boots, with cooldown recovery, area of effect, shocking leap, which I know it fills a slot. and Holy Descent, which is actually really nice. Giving you, whenever you land, after pressing space, 5% regen and 50% reduced curse effectivity. So very nice. If I'm getting stuck, blow some grenades, jump out, and I have a little healing spot here. After that, main skill, explosive shot with multi-shot, fork, elemental armament, and rapid attacks. These could be more utility based, they could be Nova or whatever. Oil grenade, which I'm not sure if it's doing too much, but it's applying exposure, which doesn't hurt. Mortar cannon with explosive grenade, multi-shot, urgent totems, and elemental armament. My own explosive grenade with multi-shot, elemental focus, elemental armament, and double liberation for pure damage. This is what I'm using on bosses mostly. And just to hop around as well. And for auras, because I'm a tactician and I'm choosing to get 50% reduced reservation, which I have some left over because I had the Flash Pierce before. The Flash Pierce companion for move speed, which is sadly gone. I have a random Herald of Ash because I had Spirit left. I have a Defiance and War Banner for bossing or, you know, rituals, breaches, whatever. And a Wind Dancer with generic aura supports. So all in all, a very well-rounded character. That doesn't have any mana issues, also because of my Heart of the Wild Jewel. It's got decent life, it's got decent armor, and armor applying to elemental damage. My resists are very basic, chaos needs to be improved. I have some good life regen because of my items, and also because of my Holy Descent. And the little cherry on top defensively, I have 50% effective deflection rating because of the 20% on my boots and the 20% I'm getting from this Ascendancy node. For the 4th node, I could either swap this one out and just go one banner and take these two, or I could go this and make my mortars a bit stronger, which isn't really all that. Or I could go for this one. And I don't know. I don't really know if this is an option. For now, I'm happy with this. I'll put the POB in the description. And you can check it out, what I figured out. There's a lot more different tactician builds I've seen on PoE.Ninja. For some slight inspiration, but most of it is just it's basic gear really. You put fire damage on, or lightning damage if I'm choosing to convert to the Valakos gloves. You could go Constricting Command as a helmet, but I choose to go this one for armor applied as elemental damage, basic defenses, resists. Yeah. That's CannonLeg. You saw CannonLeg in action. He's viable. He's real. Okay, goodbye.